Hello there. It looks like the French President Emmanuel Macron might be the one that forces a no-deal Brexit. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily, and a big thanks to my Patreon and PayPal supporters. The French President Emmanuel Macron is still sticking to his demands that the UK hand over its fish quotas to EU fishing vessels, or more precisely, French fishing vessels. The preservation of our fishermen in British waters is an essential condition, said Macron. France will not allow an agreement that does not respect our interests. So he's committing himself to throw all the other industries of the EU into the skip, just for his own coastal communities. While on our side of the channel, we still have people wittering on about how unimportant our exclusive economic zone is. Well, it seems that those who have had unfettered access to our EEZ for decades would beg to differ on their importance. And the ordinary person in the UK would find it strange to see the UK leave the EU to take control of our destiny, but somehow fail to bring our EEZ and fish stocks with us. And there is a strength of feeling about this in the UK, because we understand fishing is the litmus test of a proper Brexit. The people know that any claim that we've got our sovereignty back when the EU can still do as it pleases with our fish stocks is not regaining control. And writing in the Telegraph, Lord William Hague said that the French obviously don't know how little wiggle room Boris has to play with in matters of sovereignty. President Macron and others might easily misjudge how much room Boris Johnson has for manoeuvre on this issue. History will not judge them kindly if there is no agreement over an insistence that fishing rights in another country's seas can barely ever be changed, he wrote. And he also said that it was not unreasonable for the UK to reclaim its waters. Now, when you think about it, you get to realise that those in the EU, or those who hanker after its membership, don't seem to be at all bothered about other people's sovereignty. And the pro-EU types in the UK couldn't give a hoot about their own country's sovereignty. They'd much rather see it gone, and would happily hand over the crown jewels too, if asked. As we regain our independence and take stock of our assets, many of those people will hopefully come to realise that handing stuff over is not a good idea. And we've been handing stuff over, especially money, for decades. Now, there is another angle to Macron's response. Macron is up for re-election in May 2022, and he would probably lose support if he failed his coastal communities. And he's also trying to get some pretty controversial legislation through right now. What we're talking about is a new law to protect French police officers by making it an offence to video a police officer on duty with the intent of harming their physical or psychological integrity. DW.com reports, public demonstrations have been a rare sight in protest-prone France since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. But over the weekend, many felt it was time to make their voices heard again. Between 133,000 and 500,000 people, according to the police and organisers respectively, demonstrated in more than 70 cities across France against a proposed security law, even though the country is still under partial lockdown. And it quotes a senior researcher at the French National Centre for Scientific Research, Sébastien Roche, saying, Macron was elected as being left and right-wing, and he offered a well-balanced programme, but he has almost exclusively implemented right-wing policies, and opinion polls show we are now at a watershed. Macron has lost the support of almost all his left-wing voters, and he's engaging in Thatcherite politics, a law and order approach with tougher sanctions, more police, more prison spaces. And a poll of polls on the politico.eu website puts Macron on a disapproval rating of 56% and an approval rating of 43%. Although it's better than September when his disapproval rating hit 60% and way better than the 66% disapproval he saw back in January. But the polls also show that his support has been sliding since July. 26% of voters intend to choose him at the ballot box, and although that still gives him the lead, Le Pen is only 1% adrift of him on 25%. So you get the idea Macron would rather like to do something popular right now, and sticking it to the uppity UK over fishing would be just the ticket, if he were able to achieve it. But can he? As I pointed out in a short video earlier, the UK government has changed the guidance on one of its websites to say, the EU and UK will trade on WTO terms from the 1st of January 2021. The default position in this case is that UK service providers will be required to comply with GATT's rules on services provision. So unless this is a mistake, we're already messaging out that we're ready to go WTO with a no-deal Brexit. And in that case, instead of a probable reduction in access to UK waters, French trawlers would get none. Not only that, he would skewer many French businesses on his pride to boot. Now, the UK is due to publish its finance bill next week, and it is expected to contain clauses that mirror those controversial measures in the UK Internal Market Bill that is still stuck in the House of Lords at present. But the EU has said that it will pull any deal immediately should that be the case, with The Guardian quoting a senior Brussels source saying, "If it violates the withdrawal agreement, it's curtains, no deal." And the UK is saying that the contents of the bill are dependent on the progress of the talks. The Guardian report said, if the government goes ahead, the finance bill with its contentious clauses intact would be seen by the EU as an incendiary act if the trade and security negotiations were ongoing, but there is no expectation in Brussels of such an outcome. Sources in the UK said that the next 3 to 5 days were critical, with hopes that even if a deal does not emerge before Friday, it will do so over the weekend. And a deal will mean the UK has compromised, probably in several areas. And the rumour is that one of those compromises was to have written into the deal that the UK will remain a signed-up member of the European Convention on Human Rights. Even though, as I've explained before, the EU as a body is not itself a signatory to the ECHR, despite it being a requirement of the Lisbon Treaty. Many see the ECHR as now going far beyond the remit intended for it after the Second World War, and that we should move away from it. So if we do stay tied to it, there will be serious worries that the rubber boats will be unstoppable and certain people we would quite like to fly out of the country will be immovable. And that's why the lefties love it so much. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it by following a link in the descriptions box below and support me on Patreon or PayPal. So what do you think about all of this? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.